This is the mysterious Squirty Bottle experiment. I call it that because here we have a bottle with water in it, which doesn't look terribly exciting, does it? In a minute, I'm going to hold it round the middle, and when I do, something happens, which could be seen as quite strange. When I take my hand away, even more interesting, it stops. So when I hold it, it's going to do something. When I take my hand away, it's going to stop. And when you watch it, I want you to think about how does it actually work. Okay, so see what I mean? Watch closely. Can you see? And now you stop, and it doesn't do it. I don't think you quite saw that. Let's try again. Can you see? You sure you saw it okay? And now, take my hand away, and it stops again. Okay, how to make a mysterious squirty bottle really simple. You may need someone to help you at home, a grown-up, because you're going to need a plastic bottle, of course, water, of course, a sewing pin or needle, maybe a pair of grips or pliers, and this is how you do it. So you get a plastic bottle, you get your pin, very carefully and sensibly, you make the holes in the bottle that you want. Now sometimes you're going to find a bottle which is a bit thick, and you may not be able to grip the needle hard enough. Your fingers will slip on the needle. So what you then do is you get your pliers or grips to help you. So pretend that's the needle, pretend there's the grips, grip the needle with the grips, and holding the needle like that, make the holes in the bottle. And remember what I said, of course you may want mum and dad to help when you're using things like that. Of course you could make holes in different places. All of the holes on this one are around the bottom. You've probably forgotten, see them there? And you might think holes up the side, or holes underneath. And if mum and dad have got a sewing kit which has got different thickness needles, you could try different size holes. In fact, you could try, with their help, that's getting a small nail and making a hole with a nail or a drawing pin. Another interesting question that may come to mind is how come it doesn't leak now? Because all of us, I think, can understand how it's leaking, because when I put my hands on it, I squeeze it and put pressure, which squashes what's inside. The pressure goes up and pushes the water out through the holes like that. But of course, it's not leaking unless I do that, or at least it's only dripping now because it's wet, but it's not squirting out. So how come? Something is stopping it. Now it turns out there's two things actually. One, where the water, where those little holes are, the water of course is trying to bulge out. And where the water meets the air, a little layer forms. It's called a meniscus. It acts a bit like a stretchy skin. Now that on its own is helping, but it's not enough, and I'll prove it to you in a minute. Something is actually supporting it from outside. Outside of the bottle there's air, and it's the air in this room. The air is pushing up against this bottle and keeping that meniscus skin in place so the water can't escape. It's only when I squeeze the bottle, I put too much force in, and that water pushes the air out of the way and just escapes. One other thing worth trying is I wonder what would happen if we undone the lid and let the air in. So if we undone the lid and let the air in, let's see what happens. So it leaks on its own, so you can see that little watery skin isn't strong enough. It has to have the air from outside, but now some of the air's gone in as well, so the pressure's all changed. And of course you can make it come out a bit faster by doing that. And when you do the lid up again, it will stop squirting. And it'll only squirt when you do that. Okay? Of course, now you would like to try, I'm sure. I think it's best to do it outside, because as you can see it is a bit messy and it does go all over the place when you do it indoors. So I think going outside is the best place. So off you go. Okay, now we've made them. You remember how we did it? We got the pins, we put the pins in the bottles. Obviously I haven't seen what you've done. You've put your pins in different places, I'm sure. We've heard about how it works, the way the air right now is stopping the water leaking while you're just holding it right now. But of course we're going to see if they work when you start squeezing them, so could you squeeze them please? Okay, that's enough, thank you very much.